going to go back to our panelists, and our topic is around social mobility. So what is social mobility? So it tells us how likely we are to climb up or fall down the social ladder of life. It's the link between a person's occupation or income and the occupation or income of their parents. So when there's a strong link, there's a lower level of social mobility, and a weak link, there's a high level of it. So we have one final poll, which is, do you think everyone across the UK has a fair chance to go as far as their hard work will take them? Do you think yes, it's down to hard work, or no, your opportunities will likely depend on your social class, to a point where hard work will only get you so far, or are you not sure? So if you can answer now, we will reveal these in a bit. So on to our panelists. Olivia, why is social mobility an important topic to discuss?
I think it's a really important topic because I think as somebody who comes from low income background, it's kind of helped me to reach different levels that I hadn't thought I would be able to. I think by joining programs such as the Smart Futures program or other programs that focus on social mobility, I was able to kind of learn the skills that I needed in order to do well in the workplace, and interview skills, as well as communication skills. And I think for any young person, social mobility can provide them with life-changing skills that can support them in the future, and also allow them to pass that on to the rest of their family and potentially change the trajectory of their family for the future.
Thank you. And Humera, what has your experience been like coming from a care experience background?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I am from a care leaver background. I was in care since 2016, which is around the time when you're doing GCSEs. It was definitely a hard time. It was definitely a challenge because, as we know, GCSEs are already stressful as it is. And it was also during COVID as well. But coming from a care leaver background, I felt like we were very left to our own devices, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It definitely taught me how to become more independent. But then obviously it's kind of like you're just left to your own devices. So you definitely have to go out and do your own things. And I'm pretty sure maybe a few audience members can relate to that too.
Thank you. And Ramal, can you tell us about any experiences you had in your career journey or when you were younger?
So I've had a few experiences. I've worked in retail, I've worked in care, I've worked in support, so I've had many different experiences, and I feel like the fact that I've gone from the places I've listed to now working at a profession such as EY, it shows that there is possibility of social mobility happening, and I feel like I'm a living proof of that, for example, because I also, just like Olivia said, and probably many other people on this call or on the show, I've come from a working class background or maybe single parent household. So yeah, it's possible, social mobility.
Thank you, Ramal. So now we're going to show the results of the final poll. The question was, do you think everyone across the UK has a fair chance to go as far as their hard work will take them? So 50% said no, 14% said yes, and 7% say I don't know. Now, to be honest, I'm not really shocked about that result. I personally agree with the answer no. But Olivia, what's your reaction to the poll discussion?
I think I'm like you. I think I'm not really shocked because I understand that structural inequality and issues which sometimes are beyond our control have an impact on how far we can progress. And that's not to say that we don't have the intelligence, have the skills, have the skill sets to do really well. It's just the way that the structure of the workplace and society is, sometimes it prevents us from reaching our full potential. But at the same time, I think from my own experience, I can see how, prevailing despite, the challenges that we face can really allow us to do well. I go to one of the best universities in the country, and I don't think that I would have been able to reach there without kind of having faith in myself, and having the faith that yes, I might I'm worried that my grades might not be as good, and I might not have had the same access to somebody who potentially goes to private school, things like that. I didn't let that kind of get the better of me. But that's not me discrediting the fact that there are a lot of things in play that sometimes prevent us from getting to the places we want to be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And could you tell us about any of your experiences?
So I'd say in terms of getting to university, I went to a sixth form that I actually got an interview to Cambridge. I actually didn't get into Cambridge, and I think potentially if I'd had the resources and I guess more support from my sixth form, then I would have been able to, maybe do a little bit better. But I think, like I said earlier, everything happens for a reason. And actually, through the interview with Cambridge, I was able to learn so much more about institutions such as that, and also learn more about potentially which places I feel more comfortable in, or where I'm able to prevail more. And I think life, especially in terms of your work journey and your journey as an individual, is about finding the right place for you and finding a place where you feel comfortable. And I think I've been able to do that. So yeah.
Hemera, what do you think people in society and also employers can do to be more inclusive to people from care experience backgrounds or other social backgrounds?
So again, like I said before, you're definitely left to your own devices when you're in care. So I feel like it would be better if businesses could approach us. Obviously, they don't know individuals who are in care, but if there is like a way to communicate, oh, this is my business and we are inclusive to care experience because we offer like a separate. So I know EY has Beyond Your Limits, which is for care experienced young people. And that's, again, a reason why I love EY as a company so much, because they are so inclusive. So I think other business can definitely learn off EY in that sense.
Thank you. Ramal, what would you say are the benefits to companies with increased social mobility?
I would say there's a ton of benefits. I would say, first of all, it provides the company with visibility, because I wasn't even aware of EY as a company. When I was younger, I grew up in South London, so I wasn't aware of EY. I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know what the company was until I kind of got myself in a position to be able to experience and discover things like EY and discover consultant companies and accounting firms. So I feel like social mobility comes with a lot of visibility, and then that allows people like myself and everyone here to apply for those jobs. And then we bring a different sort of experience, a different set of skills that can evolve the company and make it a lot better. So I feel like social mobility comes with a ton of benefits for the company that definitely work in their favor in anything they want to do in terms of helping their client experience, helping the world a better place. And that's things that I believe EY strive to do and do well because of that social mobility.
Okay, thank you. Olivia, how can social mobility be improved in the workplace?
I think the access to specific groups could be better. I think EY and EY Foundation has done a really great job at accessing specific groups, and like Ronald said, that's how I got in contact with them and started to work with them. But I think it's really important to actually speak to the groups themselves. I'm really big on consultation and advisory boards, or just advisory sessions where you're able to actually speak to the group you're trying to access, because I think there's only so much there's only so much space for you to understand where a group's coming from if you're kind of emailing them and just like talking online. Whereas if you actually go out into their communities, potentially go to their schools or go to their colleges and interact with the students, I think this idea of social mobility will be more accessible for a lot of people.